Hey, it's another edition of whatever. I'm not even really, I don't title everything. Sometimes I call this absurd. I'm just, talking. I was watching my dose of entertainment news, and the one of the stars, well, I guess pretty much almost the star, other than maybe the guy who plays Sheldon Cooper, who is can't think of the guy's name. You always look it up, but anyway. But the girl who plays Penny, Kaylee Cuoco, if I could pronounce that right, or yeah, I always think Kyoko. It's an odd sound. I don't even know what her nationality is. It's just a very strange last name. They asked her, some dumb entertainment news gathering organization, if she ever had, they asked about her breast implants. Well, she said she had breast implants, and she's like, well, I thought everybody knew she had breast implants when she was 18, like a decade ago. She's 28 now. And, like it's new, like it's a big deal anyway. She's an attractive woman. Of course, I watch The Big Bang Theory a lot. Of course, I notice her. She's, but if you're a serious actress, or you consider yourself a serious actress outside of porn, asking about your measurements or whether your breasts are real or not just seems sort of shallow. But but they also mentioned, which I thought was even like insult to injury, and I don't know how to quite to feel about this, but she was making $60,000 an episode at one point. And now, the show's been popular for several years now, and now she's making $325,000 an episode. And I'm not quite sure how many episodes they make a year, so it's a pretty big number. And put that in the calculator. But it would be, let's say, 325. Wait. They probably make like 20. Let's just say they make 20 episodes a year. That times 20 times 325. And that would equal, she makes 6.5, if I'm correct on this, $6.5 million a year. As opposed to about around the 1.2 million. I know her agents take fees, but she ain't starving. That's a lot of money, though, man, to play, to remember lines and work a relatively clean job. It's otherwise, it's just loaded with, all you do is go on talk shows and you look pretty and you remember lines. I'm not saying she's not talented and stuff, and all, but it's just, oh my God. I just don't get it, Because, I've made my last job, and I'm ashamed to even admit it. I wasn't even cracking $20,000 a year, and I was working 40 hours a week before I stopped showing up and shit. But that's beside the point. I had a FMLA for family medical related issues, whatever. But so anyway, when I was working 40 hours a week, I was making like $11 an hour, a little over that towards the end. So it wasn't very much. So I'm making like, I don't know, maybe around 16 freaking grand a year after everybody takes their piece of the pie, gets there, and everybody else dips into it. I'm walking home with 16 grand a year. 16 grand a year. She does like maybe, I don't know, it takes how many, I don't know if it takes like a week of shooting or more to shoot one episode. It probably wouldn't even take a week. It probably takes a matter of days to shoot an episode of it, because they have to make so many episodes a year. So $60,000, which is a lot of money just to make a year. In a lot of places, it's a pretty good chunk of change. But $325,000 a year. What is she doing with $325,000 an episode? It's like, boom! I just made one episode, and I've got 20, maybe 23 more, 22 more episodes this season to do. I just made 325 grand. It's just like, what do you do with all that money? I mean, is she gonna like? I mean, does she need to like make her own space program? Why the fuck does she need that much money? I mean, why are these? I mean, this country's supposedly in the shitter, economically, and there's people living very well. And I'm not picking on actors necessarily. I mean, fuck, if I was getting paid that much, I wouldn't be like, I take that all back. I will only accept a reasonable payday for my role in How I Met Your Mother, or 2.5 Ashton Kutchers, or whatever the fuck that show is now. No, it's 2.5 Men, but Charlie Sheen left and the kid's not on there anymore, and they replaced Angus T. Jones, who played Jake, with Charlie's illegitimate niece, who's a slutty lipstick lesbian. So that's just dandy. They really need to can that show. Oh, but it's awful. There's just so much shit on TV. In the meantime, like, I gotta, like, I'm taking my nephew to the movies and stuff like that. I gotta plunk down for some popcorn with the last $15 in my wallet. So we get 2 sodas and a popcorn. And you can guess what those 2 sodas and a popcorn cost. It costs around $15. So I'm out my $15. It's something that should cost, like, maybe $5 or something, really. I mean, it's fucking soda, man. I can go get a liter of Pepsi and get some popcorn for a mere fraction of that cost, and I get this thing of popcorn, and I'm thinking, like, is there like a Cracker Jack prize, like, bag of weed buried in this popcorn? I mean, really? Jesus. Especially if you're going to a 3D movie, you need some pot. I think people, they should start doing that to movie theaters, like, put a few shots of rum in our Cokes and stuff like that, and that big liter, I gotta be kind of drunk to drink the whole thing, and I need some other motive to do that. So I think they should start putting liquor. I mean, they serve booze in movie theaters in other countries, like Amsterdam and shit. You can get I know, John Travolta's character from Pulp Fiction said this in the conversation he had with Samuel L. Jackson about, you can get yourself a glass of beer, in a movie theater. I mean, you're just like, oh, you can't drink there, and you can't drink there, and you can't do anything, and we've got like a handful of states we can kind of smoke pot legally in. I mean, so, not that I smoke weed, prospective employers, but, So anyway, and it's really, we should be able to just, have, especially at the movie theater, you need pot, I mean, I want to at least get high one more time before, like, some lunatic pops through the back exit door and guns us all down during a 3D movie. Because they just, any crazy person can buy a gun, but, buying weed, you gotta pull all kinds of strings, and Christ. So, yeah, that sucks. Well, it doesn't suck, but, but yeah, and Miley, another celebrity, we were watching The Fabulous Life of Miley Cyrus the other night. Me and my fiance Jennifer were home chilling, and we were getting, at least I was getting incensed at this just absolutely, Miley Cyrus is going to be one of the most repellent people on the planet. Her excess was absolutely revolting. And I'm not going to go into it too much, but her dogs sleep on a Chanel blanket that cost $1,000, and that's just one little thing. And that's, nothing. I mean, she threw a party at Disney World, and, like, I don't know, like 80 acres of Disney World. And I don't even know how big Disney World is. 80 acres is a lot for an amusement park, but 80 acres of Disney World to have her private birthday party or some shit. And she's, her videos are nothing more than virtual lap dances when it comes down to it. She's not an artist. I mean, really, she gets paid so much. She is so, generously compensated for what she does. Did we need Hannah Montana in this world? No. Do we need twerking? No. Did we need that Sledgehammer video? No. I mean, sure, like 14-year-old boys who need something to, wax their carrot to, sure, they needed that, but nobody, she's not leaving a lasting impression, and she's gonna be broke the way she's spending her money. I mean, I've never seen someone spend so much money on freaking jewelry. It's just ridiculous. I mean, they always announce, like, she paid over $375,000 for this bracelet, and then, like, oh, we're supposed to care. And she got some grill, because apparently, those mouth grills with, with the bling on it, because apparently she's under the impression she's a black girl from Detroit who made it big, and not a white girl from the South whose dad essentially got her into the business. And oh yeah, her dad needs to freaking go too. He's Billy Ray Cyrus for that Achy Breaky Heart video or song that was on all the time back then. I think in the early '90s, it was just awful. Ugh. And he came up with the whole I think he came up with the whole Hannah Montana concept. But I hope that her fate, what she deserves, is if she's performing one night, she'll be on stage, and off to the side of the stage, there's going to be some guys who were trimming the trees somewhere nearby inexplicably, and they were throwing the branches into a wood chipper, and she falls off the stage into the wood chipper. And she is just being completely massacred in there and eviscerated and spewed out there until all you hear is her, mouth grill pinging around in there. It's just, that's what she deserves. And if you saw this show, you would agree with me. I know that sounds harsh, and I mean that only as an expression of my just abhorrence, if you will, towards her. Just being a selfish, myopic little shrew. That's all she is. She has no foresight. She doesn't know, hey, someday no one's gonna want to see you in, freaking G-string or whatever the hell you're wearing, and no one's gonna want to fuck you anymore, and no one's gonna want to pay you to perform anymore, for that matter. Okay, you're gonna, she'll be lucky if. Look at Debbie Gibson or Tiffany or anybody from the 80s or early 90s or Vanilla Ice. They spent hard. Well, I don't know if Tiffany and Debbie Gibson didn't make that much money, but, they did. I mean, Vanilla Ice did. He spent a lot of money on stupid shit because he's kind of a douchebag. But he knows that's what he is now. He just basically, anytime he's in a movie or something, it spoofs him. It satires what a loser, culturally irrelevant has-been he is. And that's what Miley Cyrus is going to be in about, I would say, 2 years. 2 more years, and she's going to be burned out. She's going to be in rehab. She might not be in rehab, but yeah, all that stuff, that's just going to... it's going to be all gone. There'll be no more Miley Cyrus. And there'll be no, she'll be at county fairs when she's like in her early 30s or mid 30s with that Hannah Montana wig half, slipping off, and just a sad shell of her former self. I know that was horrible to wish such a dire fate against her. But yeah, for what she's doing, if she wasn't doing all that stuff, I wouldn't say any of this stuff at all. It's not a matter just I don't care about her music. I just think these people, her and some of the aforementioned celebrities, are just getting paid way too much for tripe. And I, for one, as an American, can't stand for it anymore. I just really can't, come up with something good and creative and something that can contribute something to our culture and enrich it, or just, be some douchebag in a club. It's